I'm not texting, so don't get any ideas, okay? But I'm using the prayers of the Mass for St. Bernard, and they're like bookends. They hold up this scripture and this celebration very beautifully. And so I'd like to begin by sharing the prayer at the beginning of Mass and the prayer after communion. The one at the beginning says this: O God, who made the abbot St. Bernard. In case you don't know what an abbot is, that's the head of a monastic community. And for women, it's an abbess, and for men, it's an abbot. And an abbot wears a mitre. He's like a bishop of his community. And the Cistercian community that Bernard was a member of is very strict. It's like the Marines, the best of the best of the best of the best. And they're very strict, and they were cloistered. They didn't come out of their cloister. If you went to talk to them, they talk behind a screen. They don't shake your hand, they're behind a screen. It's a very, very special kind of life for very, very few. And he had many gifts, became a doctor of the church. He rose up in the community because he was an extraordinary man. So God, who made the abbot, St. Bernard, a man consumed with zeal for your house and a light shining and burning in your church. This man was on fire. Grant through his intercession, what a line. Our fellow Christians, many of them say, you Catholics, you're weird because you pray to Mary and you pray to the saints. And I say, no, we don't. We ask Mary and the saints to intercede for us to God. So we go to this person and say, would you pray for me? I haven't been feeling well lately. Could you pray for me? She said, yes. Okay. You know, I'm having a real struggle with our cameraman over there. He's just driving me crazy. Just kidding, Michael. Okay. Would you pray for me that I get over this? Yeah? Yeah, okay. They're interceding for me, helping me out. So we do it with people who are alive. We do it with the saints who are dead. You know, go to God and help me out because I need some work in my life. So grant through his intercession that we may be on fire with the same Spirit and walk always as children of light. What a prayer. What a thing to ask for in our lives. And then after communion, this other good one, I just lost it. Come back. Okay, after communion, we say, may the food we have received, O Lord, and the food is not just the Eucharist, it is that. It's the Word of God that we're supposed to eat it and take it in and consume it and let it digest into our bodies and our hearts and souls and lives. So, may the food we have received, O Lord, as we honor St. Bernard, our patron, work its effect in us, so that, strengthened by his example and instructed by his teaching, we may be caught up in love of your incarnate Word. That's Jesus Christ. Caught up in love. Wow. That's what this is supposed to do to us today. So we have these scriptures. Now, I seldom refer to notes, but I just wanted to keep this clear in my head. After the luau, I did hulas last night and all kinds of stuff. So I need a little help today. And if I had to sum up each reading with a phrase, this would be for the first reading. How much can a person endure? How much can a person endure? Israel in chapter 60 has been exiled, in the book of Isaiah, exiled, thrown out of their city, detached from Jerusalem, detached from God, detached from one another, scattered. They're in exile, suffering, enduring the suffering for such a long time. And in chapter 60, God is beginning to help them come back. So in little pieces, people are coming from all directions, all the places they've been in exile. And he says, I will gather them. He's again forming his people again. And he's even saying, and from some of these refugees coming back, I am going to select priests and Levites. So he's reestablishing his community who has endured so much. Very hope-filled. If I had to deal with the phrase that would best express the second reading, it would be this. Deal with it. Deal with it. Paul is telling, in a very wise way, giving advice to his people, telling them that, yeah, you're suffering, and yes, you have struggles, and it's part of life. But he says, look at it this way. And he says, God is doing this to discipline you, to help you to grow. Now, I don't like this reading on one level, because this implies that God sends bad stuff to us. We need a little cancer over there. Boom. How about some diabetes over there? Let's take a kid and have him run over by a car. I mean, how absurd is this, that God would do this to the people he loves? No. Although the Jewish people kind of saw everything somehow comes from God, so somehow. But certainly Jesus teaches us about calling God our Father, actually calling him Papi, Daddy. That's how intimate we are to be. So Paul wraps it around like this and says, when you're suffering, why don't you look at it like this? That God is disciplining you, helping you to grow. Because through our struggles, if we're willing to face them, not run from them, not curse them, not cry and whine about them, but say, I can do it. I trust in God. I believe in God. Somehow he will help me get through this. And that disciplining of self through our spirit can make us grow to be amazing, even with the struggles, even through the struggles that we have. Way of looking at it. But the best is the gospel. Oh, yes. Perfect for St. Bernard. The gospel, if I had to sum it up in a phrase, it would be this: I'll do whatever it takes. I will do whatever it takes. In this time that we're celebrating Rio, we get it. Do you think those athletes go over there saying this? I'll try. Maybe I don't know if I'll win. I'm not very good. They say, I'll do whatever it takes. They've been getting up at 3 and 4 in the morning running for months, if not a couple years. They started right after the Olympics 4 years ago to start training for this one. There are people training already for the next one in 4 years. And they say, whatever it takes, I'll do it. Yeah, but it means you're going to be working hard all day. Whatever it takes. So if we listen to this gospel, Jesus cracks this open for us in an amazing way. He's going through towns and villages. He's preaching and teaching, and people are coming up to him. And so this one guy comes up to him and says, well, it says someone. It could be a woman, I don't know. Lord, will only a few people be saved, and will I be one of them? That's implied. Will only a few people be saved? So do you think it might be me? So Jesus answers, as he so often does. He gives them this teaching. He says, look, strive to enter through the narrow gate. Now that's quite a word, strive. Striving is, I'll do whatever it takes. And then he says this, for many, I tell you, will attempt to enter, but will not be strong enough. Attempting something and striving is very different. Somebody who's going to attempt it, you say to this, would you like to win the gold medal? And, that sounds interesting. Yeah, I think I'll try. I'll try that. They aren't going to stay in it very long. Would you like to win the gold medal? I sure would, and I'll do whatever it takes. Tell me what I have to do. I'll double it. That's the spirit that Jesus is speaking of. What if people approach Jesus and his gospel that way? I'll do whatever it takes to put into effect in my life what Jesus Christ is asking. I want to burn with this spirit and light up the sky. I feel consumed by following Jesus Christ. That's what he's asking. He's not asking for, well, I guess I could attempt it. Maybe. On a good day. So then Jesus always, to make sure that we get the point, tells a little image. He says there's a master in the house, and he gets up and he locks the door, time to close the door, and some people are knocking out there saying, can we come in? He says, I don't know who you are or where you come from. And then this is what they say to him. Oh, don't you remember? We ate and drank with you a few times, and we also heard you preaching in our streets. How lame is that? That's no commitment. That's not who are you and we know you and you know us. We ate and drank. We were at the luau last night. We ate and drank with you. Which one were you? Oh, we were in the crowd there. We ate and drank with you. And we heard you get up and speak. So what? Jesus does not want people around him who are saying, well, yeah, we heard you. Because a lot of people in the gospel heard him. Yeah, we heard what you say. And if Jesus followed it, and are you going to do it? Well, think about it. Maybe on Tuesday. He wants to speak, and we say, whatever you ask Jesus, and I know the stuff you're asking is tough. And if you're not sure how tough it is, let me give you one, the one I always give. I'll give you two, all right? You can choose. Forgive everybody all the time. Excuse me? Forgive everybody all the time. Lord, you've got to be kidding. I mean, really. That's what he's asking. He's not saying, will you attempt it? Oh, sounds a little hard today. He's saying, forgive everyone all the time. Lord, if you ask it, I'll try it. I will try it with all my heart. I may fall on my face. I may not always succeed, but I'll commit myself to doing it. Pray for your enemies and bless your bullies and those who persecute you. Jesus, have you been drinking? Bless my enemies and pray for those who persecute me, my bullies. That's what I said. If you think about it, Jesus is not working on a back rub. This is a deep tissue massage. I want you to change your lives. I want you to change the world. The world does that. They pray for those that they like, and then they snub their nose at the ones they don't care for. I'm not asking for that. I'm asking you to love those, pray for those who persecute you. Now, I think this distinction is fair. You know, there's people that I don't like, but I do love them. I do. I pray for them. I bless them. When I see them, sometimes my hair goes up on the back of my neck because I feel this dislike, because I know they talk about me, they say things behind my back, they won't come up and say it to my face. That bugs me. But I do pray for them, especially when I start feeling that. That's when I know I got to pray for them. And you know why? I'm not so sure my prayer does anything to them, but I know it does something to me. It takes those hairs and puts them back down nicely. And I say, okay, got through that one. I pray for them because I need to pray for them. And Jesus knows this. Jesus is giving us a recipe for a life of peace, a life of goodness, a life of communion. And he knows that we can't get it if we won't really try, if we'll just attempt it. But he says, if you strive for it, if you make it number one and say, I'll do it, I'll do whatever it takes, we'll begin to find that life growing within us. So to cap it all off, he says this. He's preaching to the Jews who have rejected him, many of them, who have attempted, and some won't even attempt it, let alone strive for it. And he says, I'll tell you, many who are first here, I came to you first, you're going to be last. But there are prostitutes and sinners and drug addicts and tax collectors and people who are outside the community. We judge them as not very worthy, who the last who will be first because they're getting it. They're hearing the call to strive. The invitation is there for all of us. It really is. A commercial message. That's why I'm giving this retreat on Jesus. There's 5 talks in the day. To come and listen to what he really says. To come and listen to what he really asks us to strive for in our lives. This is the only Mass I've said this, and one day I'll preach on this alone, but do you know that Gandhi was asked one day, have you ever thought of being a Christian? He said, no, not really, because I've never met one. Ooh, I've never met one. Those who attempt, and we all are in that category sometimes, but we don't want to stay there. We want to move to the place where we want to really strive. And we want to be able to say, and really mean it, I'll do whatever it takes.